What's up, guys? It's Amber.
And it's Philip. What's happening?
Welcome back. Or
Yeah.
us welcome back.
Are you welcoming them back, or am I welcoming us back?
We back, y'all back. What's
Right.
up?
What's happening?
Here we go.
As you can see, we are in Uptown Charlotte.
We are on location, y'all. A lot has happened.
A whole lot.
I think we've kind of updated here and there. So we are talking about how to maintain your marriage when life be lifing.
And it be hard too.
For real. I mean, through the life struggles.
Yeah.
How do you actually keep the marriage and not just become roommates? Or
Yeah.
you get on my nerves, but I said I do. You know, how do
Yeah.
you actually maintain the relationship between your spouse when life kicking your butt?
Because whether you realize it or not, life gonna be hard either way.
It's gonna happen.
It's
life.
nothing you can do about it. Life don't care how much money you got. Life don't care how healthy you are. Life don't care where you live, what you drive. Life gonna be hard either way.
I mean, one thing Jesus promised is struggle.
Oh yeah.
So the truth of the matter is, you struggling for Jesus or you out here struggling for yourself.
Right.
Because the struggle's gonna come either way.
Either way.
So let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so we want to talk about our story in real time as we talk about how we've maintained our marriage, because life been kicking our butt.
I mean, I'm talking about
Boom, boom,
like
1, 2.
Mike Tyson first round knockout. Like, it's been tough.
Tagging us, okay?
But this the thing though. We ain't been down and out though.
No, we haven't.
We've been down, but not down and out. Because there's a difference.
It is.
Because we have been on this journey of spiritual upliftment, spiritual enrichment together, and it has been great.
And let's be clear also, when we talk about spiritual, this ain't just a spiritual journey. We're talking about Jesus.
Right.
We're talking about the Holy Spirit.
Right, not the universe.
We're talking about Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
Right, let's be specific.
Okay, so when we say spiritual, we mean God the Father,
All right.
Jesus the Son, and the Holy Spirit. No other spirits, okay?
Right.
I think we just need to take it from the top. What's the one thing we always have?
Our friendship.
Boom.
Absolutely.
There it is.
Absolutely.
Boom and boom.
That's what we lean on. That's what we refer to. Because trust, we be getting on each other's nerves.
Baby. Baby.
More so her than me.
Baby.
But the nerves be gotten upon.
Because he be tap dancing.
You know what I'm saying? And it be hard, man. Like, it ain't, especially when you confined in one space. And
Yeah.
we'll get into all of that. But,
So let's start there. Let's go ahead and start there.
okay.
So as some of you may know, and if you don't know, we moved to Charlotte from Little Rock, which is 12 hours away, with no friends, no family. We knew literally one person in Charlotte
Yep.
before we moved.
Yep.
Someone I went to college with. We weren't even close friends, but that's my girl now. We moved. We didn't have a job lined up. We didn't have a house lined up. We gave one car away before we left. The other one got totaled. So we even moved in a rental car.
Yep.
Literally packed up our house with our 2 kids
And
and
was
moved
gone.
across the country.
Yep.
And with our 2 little kids, might I add.
That's correct.
So we moved, and we moved because God told us to move.
He did.
And we heard his voice and we knew his voice, and so we were obedient. Well, we thought that things were just going to be perfect.
Absolutely. We thought that, God, you told us to move, so of course you got the job lined up. Of course you got the crib lined
Easy
up.
money.
Of course you got these whips lined
Easy
up.
money.
Like, of course. Like, we're going to be out here a couple weeks and then it's just going to start falling out in thin air.
And what we didn't know,
Man,
which
look.
hopefully this word can help somebody else, because let me tell you, that ain't how it works.
Nah, it ain't
Here's
how it
the
work
thing.
at all.
People always talk about, following Jesus, and you should follow Jesus. But he promised a struggle. He struggled.
Mhm.
His life wasn't a cakewalk.
Mhm.
If he struggled, why wouldn't we?
Mhm.
And so there's been a pressing, a stripping, a molding
Yeah.
that has happened in this time, and it's been very hard.
Very.
We've been in a hotel for 7 months, and not just one hotel.
We've been bouncing around all over the city.
It's been tough.
All over the city. Imagine you bouncing around in the city with no vehicle, in a place that you've never been before. You walking with your luggage up and down the street from hotel to hotel. Like literally, all our belongings are on our back.
Y'all, it's been tough.
Like it's been crazy.
It's been tough, and it's hard just on a family.
Yeah.
It's hard on me as a mother. It's hard on him as a father and a husband,
Yeah.
and me as a wife.
Yeah.
But it's also hard on a marriage
Yeah, that's tough, man.
because every decision matters.
Every dollar matters.
Every dollar matters. And
Yeah.
literally every dollar matters.
Yeah.
And if you followed us before, you know our spending habits are very different.
Very much so. So every dollar that comes in, you know, I'm wanting to save, put towards something, and want to eat it. So
We gotta eat. I gotta feed the kids.
so we like, come on now.
What I'm supposed to do with my kids?
Right. Right.
So it's been a lot of that as well, and not just hard on a marriage as in we have tough decisions to make. We're also dealing with the weight of the struggle.
Yeah.
So I really want to distinguish between the two. We're not talking about, you know, us just having an issue between the two of us. We're talking about how our marriage has been impacted from the struggle that we're all facing.
Yes.
That has been a difficult road to navigate, and for us, I'll say it's been new territory. Like, this is not the first time that we've had hard times in life, but this is the first time that it's literally been I don't know what to do, you don't know what to do, we just out here.
Right.
What's up?
You got nobody to lean on but Jesus.
Literally, that's it. So for us, our friendship has made such a big difference because there has been times where I've been afraid, even when it comes to our marriage, because I've never been to a point to where I don't want to talk to him.
Yeah.
And in this time, I've actually been to a point where I'm like, I actually don't want to talk to him. Like, I don't want to hear what he has to say.
Yeah.
You know?
And for the first time, like ever.
For the first time ever. And so for me, that's been super scary to be like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, you don't want to talk to your husband?
Yeah.
And so I know for me, I, had to sit with that, but then also give myself permission to feel that way and understand that it was a moment,
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to not talk to him forever. It's not like you don't like him. It's just a lot going on.
And a lot going on all at the same time.
Right.
Like, it's not like we have just one particular thing that we're dealing with.
Yeah.
It's finances, it's switching hotels,
Yeah.
it's the price of the hotel, it's what we gonna eat, it's the kids eating but they not eating, it's
And the dollars matter now.
every dollar matters.
Yes.
Like,
It's tended to kids. 2 kids in a hotel trying to figure out, hey, we had a house. Why did we leave a house? And family, instability to come to instability.
right. Like, and I'm eating my mother's cooking every day, and now we eating out every day.
And I don't want this, but I think I want it.
Right. Right. And they tired of Chick-fil-A. They
Yeah.
tired of, all these fast food places, but, it just depends on where we at, what we can do, and it's just a lot.
And just the stressors of not knowing what to do. God, I'm out here. I trust you. I believe in you. I'm lost. I get you have a plan. I don't.
At all.
So even just us leaning on one another, normally in our marriage, if one person didn't have it, the other person did.
Yeah.
Or if one person couldn't figure it out, the other person could. So we could always balance and lean on one another.
So what do you do when nobody know what to do?
And I'm expecting somebody to know what to do.
Look, it's been a journey.
So it's been a lot.
Yeah.
Our friendship has really helped us. It's been our saving grace, because even when we've gotten frustrated with each other, and that's one thing that's new too, is we've been getting frustrated with each other easier
Yeah.
and more often. And that's something that we're not used to. We're used to literally it being months, and we're like, dang, when the last time we had a disagreement?
Yeah.
To now it's like we just get back on good terms, and now we back, not on good terms.
Yeah.
So it's been really different for our marriage. But one thing I'll say is, because we have the friendship, even if it takes a couple days, we're always willing to, all right, let's try this again.
Yeah.
Let's come back.
Yeah. But this is also another thing I want to say about that is when we are like in the heat of the moment, in the heat of battle. Back at the crib in Little Rock, we were at least able to go somewhere, go someplace to where we kind of get away from each other.
Right.
You know, but now it's like we can't even go anywhere. Like we have no privacy.
None.
None whatsoever.
So we can barely beef with one another unless you know while the kids awake.
But even when they sleep, we got to be quiet. Like imagine being 38 hot, trying to get your point across, and you can't because you don't want to wake the kids up.
Let me tell you something that set Philip off to no end. Is when we are discussing, y'all know I talk louder than Philip. And he get a little louder, not yelling, but just louder because it's a passionate conversation. And I tell him, hey, you too loud, don't wake up the kids.
That sets me off. How dare you? You talk loud every day, all day.
And
you
I do.
Hollering and screaming in just normal conversation.
Because that's how I talk.
But when I elevate my voice, because I'm passionate about what I'm talking about, or trying to get my point across, you tell me to bring it down?
Set off, okay, y'all? Set off, okay?
You might as well call me out my name. Because now I'm hot.
And the conversation over at that point.
Now I'm hot. Now, you know what? I'm done. I'm through. It just is what it is.
So, friendship.
Yeah.
That is literally what we always go back to. And that is just, our friendship has, I'm so grateful for it and so thankful that we have that foundation. Because if not, literally, what we're facing right now, this is literally what breaks marriages. This is what breaks it.
Yeah.
And we're able to still have the hard times, have the rough times, but bring it back, you know?
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing that has really helped us maintain our marriage throughout life struggles.
So let me ask you a question. So during this time that we've been here for 7 months, what do you think is the single most difficult thing that we've had to deal with?
In our marriage or just in the situation?
In our marriage.
Not being on the same page.
Yeah, because that's unfamiliar territory.
Yeah, it's very unfamiliar to not be on the same page for us. And we've not been on the same page a lot. A whole lot.
Like give them one example so they can understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'll say we already talked about us being on a more spiritual journey, and I really want to find a better phrase than that, but just being in more relation with God.
Yeah.
And even on that, this move has been such a spiritual move. Like God has had his hand on us, he's had favor over us, but he's been molding us so much. But those relationships are so different. The rates at the intimacy of the relationship with God has been different. So I'm intense. I'm diving deep. So I'm to a point to where I can actually say when something goes wrong, I can say, hey, I got to see what I need to see, not what I see right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's frustrating if you're not where I'm at. That's frustrating if he hadn't told you something he's told me.
Mm-hmm.
So now I believe, wait a minute, he said it's on the way. He said it's coming. Or he said do this. Or he showed me a vision.
Mm-hmm.
But he showed it to me. So I'm at peace. And you're mad because in the natural,
Right.
stuff is jacked up.
Right. Like super jacked up.
So that has caused us to be not on the same page a lot of times. But
Yeah.
then even more so is we have to be so strategic with the things that we do.
Yeah.
And if your strategy different than mine, we're not on the same page.
Right. That draws a, okay, which one are we gonna go with? Are we gonna go with your way or are we gonna go with my way?
Yeah.
And it's almost like walking a tightrope, because any small move to the left or the right, we could fall off.
That's a very good way to explain
Like,
it. Yeah.
like and imagine carrying, you know, heavy things, our belongings, our, you know, our, I mean, just anything.
Mhm.
You really just have to be careful.
Yeah.
And I would also say that, what would it be for me, like the most difficult thing that I think in our marriage that we have had to deal with during this particular time, would also be not having any stability.
Yeah.
Because when we don't have stability on a day-to-day basis, that really messes with our groove and our routine.
Absolutely. We don't have a routine.
We don't have
right
a
now.
routine at all.
That's a good point.
Every single day we eat something different. Every single day we're going somewhere different.
Yeah.
You know, every single day our funds are different.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that just affects so much when it comes to our marriage.
Yeah.
Because before we moved here, we could tell you next week, this is what we're doing on Monday. This is what we're doing on Tuesday.
Yep.
The kids got karate. I'm going to work.
Yep.
You got a meeting. I mean, we can tell
time
you.
and everything.
Every single time.
Yeah.
But now, man, I can't tell you what we're doing in the next 2 hours.
Literally. And because of that, even when we had disagreements at first, we knew the kids was going to bed at 7 o'clock.
We'll revisit then.
We could talk about it then. Now it may be a couple days before we can revisit. Or it may be 10 o'clock before we can revisit. And we're so tired. Do we really want to get into this now?
Right.
And I want to talk about it immediately. So let's squeeze in these 10 minutes right now, you know?
I'm finna go to bed.
So
That's how I'm feeling.
So the lack of stability in our everyday life
It affects so much.
has affected our marriage so much because we don't even have the time where we can come together and resolve or just be, you know?
Yeah, I really think that's another thing as well.
Yeah.
Like having the alone time just to be.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm gone, you got the kids.
Yeah.
If you gone, I got the kids.
Yeah.
There's no break time to be an adult, to do what you want to do. I mean, the time is very, very short in order for us to do that. So that's another thing that's really difficult.
So how are we managing that? How are we overcoming that? We still working on it.
The best we can. You know, to be honest, just the best we can. I mean, because like I just said, I mean, it just depends on what the day, what the time. We're just managing the best that we can. But the basis of it all is that we are still remaining together in this, because we know that when we come out on the other side of this, we are being molded and we are being made into new people, to where when we get to where God is having us to go, then we will be equipped with the things that we have learned during this time. We won't ever forget this time.
Yeah.
Our kids won't forever forget this time. We're so much more grateful. We're so much more appreciative of the things that we have already.
Yeah.
So I think that when we get to where we're going, or even in the trajectory of where we're going, we will be so much more grateful, so much more humbled, and have a heart full of giving more than we've ever been in our entire lives.
Yeah. And even just back to what you were saying as far as like how we're overcoming that, I think that one thing that we do is when we know that it's gotten to a point to like, hey, we actually need some time together, we prioritize that still. Even in the midst of instability, you know, we'll say, hey, the kids sleep, we're going down to the lobby. You know, so that's something that I will say we have done and we have prioritized. So it just looks different now. Where at one point it was date night every Thursday. You know, it was my mom came over, or the kids spent the night at my mom's house and we went out. We don't have that luxury right now, but we will go down to the lobby at 10 o'clock and it might be 10 o'clock.
Right.
But we go down to the lobby when the kids go to bed. So I guess I'm saying that to say we've just had to shift what our time together looks like, but still prioritizing that time together.
Correct.
Because even in the midst of the struggle, we still have to have something here.
Yeah.
If not, we don't have anything to give to the kids, you know?
Right.
We don't have anything to give just in our daily life if we don't have anything here.
Yeah.
I know for me, and you can answer this too, but on the days that we are off, those are always the harder days for me. You know, like it's already, a lot of the days are really hard. But then when me and him not on the same page, I feel alone. I feel like I'm in it by myself. And so those days are a lot harder for me.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm like, okay, you know what? Y'all gonna have to get on the same page.
Yeah, because you be feeling like this can't go too much longer. We got to communicate.
Absolutely.
Because every single day we got to talk about something. Whether it's planning, whether it's finances, whether it's what we gonna eat, how you feeling.
Yeah.
It's gotta be something.
Yeah.
Because if there's too much silence that's gone in between, then that gives the devil enough time to sit on somebody's mind and to disrupt what we got going on.
Absolutely.
And if he can creep in and put thoughts into our mind, doubt into our mind, things of that nature, division, then that leads to a road of degradation.
Yeah.
And that ain't happening over here at all. Like we said last year, the D word is something we don't even play about.
We don't play about that.
You know what I'm saying? But that's something that we're thinking about constantly. Like, look, this, when people get to a point to where they call it quits, it came from somewhere. It's usually just not, you know, at a spur of a moment. Like, so we're just being more strategic and more mindful of, like, hey, any little offness, let's settle it right then.
Yeah.
So we won't even get to a point to where, you know, someone is not happy or frustrated for too long or whatever the case may be.
And I think that's a really good segue just into maybe the last point, unless you have something else, is prayer. Like, that is something that has been heavy. And when I say the last point, not probably the most important, but prayer. And not even just together. We pray together, but individually. Like, something that I've been learning is that when we are having a lot of off times, when we are having those issues and not on the same page, I gotta go talk about this. I gotta go take it to God. Because, hey, what's happening? What is happening? Because we snapping at each other over the smallest thing, you know? Yeah. Let me get in my prayer closet. Let me get somewhere and check myself. Help me make sure, you know, that I'm doing what needs to be done, that I'm not overreacting, all those things. And I think that has, not even I think, I know that has helped so much. That has de-escalated so many different things, you know, that could have really gone to the next level, places that we don't even go, you know?
Right, absolutely not.
And so that has been a really big factor as well, because it's like, God, we out here because we're being obedient to you. Stuff is hard, stuff hitting the fan. But let me talk to you. Help me.
What you think?
Help my marriage, you know? And that's just being real. Those are some things that I've actually had to say. Like, I come against the spirit of division in my marriage. You know, I come against these attacks in my marriage because now we're able to see them happening, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's something that we've really had to start doing, and doing so much more frequently, is covering our marriage.
Yeah.
Because it's a strong attack on our marriage.
And I want to add something to that. We've noticed that since we've been here, the attacks on our marriage have been so much more frequent, and that's because we're on to something great.
Yeah.
Like, we're on to something so big and so grand, and something that's just literally going to blow our minds, something that is beyond our understanding, that the devil like, oh no, I got to stop this now because I see where they going.
Yeah.
So let me go on insert doubt. Let me go on insert this division. Let me go ahead and make him upset over the smallest things. So I can go ahead and get into here.
Yeah.
Because I can't have Philip and Amber out here changing the world.
Right.
I can't have them out here shaking up Charlotte.
Yeah.
I can't have them out here doing what God has promised over their lives.
What they were destined to do. What they were destined to do.
No, I can't have that.
And I think that's been the biggest understanding that we've come into.
Yeah.
And that's helped so much. Like, literally for me, in the middle of some of our disagreements, I'm able to just stop. Because I'm like, oh, I see what's happening.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see you, dog.
Yeah.
I see you, you know?
Yeah.
So, we are talking about how to maintain your marriage in the middle of life struggles. And so, we just kind of want to recap just the points that we made. First is our foundation, our friendship. Yep. That's something, if you've ever heard us talk before, I know you've heard us talk about our friendship. We lean on our friendship. That is our foundation. And even now, though it shifted a little bit, that's what we have that makes us more willing, you know?
Yep.
To resolve, to put forth different efforts, to shift how we need to shift.
Yep.
So that's one, our friendship. How
we spend our time together has shifted into it looking different.
Absolutely.
So instead of us doing date night every Thursday, we're doing date night whenever we can.
Yeah, but we're still prioritizing
prioritizing our time together.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And the last point is prayer. both individually and together.
Heavy rotation. Heavy
Yeah.
rotation. So those are 3 ways that we've been able to maintain our marriage. I think it's super important to also just do an assessment. You know, as marriages change. We've been married for 10 years this year, and how our marriage looks now is not even how it looked last year. You know, marriages change, but you have to be willing to shift as needed. You know,
You got to make them adjustments.
Right. Sometimes we get so stuck in how it was and wanting to keep that, but if you're not able to ever shift, you can't grow.
Or even trying to get it back to what it was.
Right.
You know, we're not going back to what it was.
Absolutely.
We're trying to do something new here.
Yeah.
Find a new groove. Trying to get better at this.
Right. And even if your marriage is solid, which, you know, we've always prided ourselves on that, it doesn't mean that it can't get better.
Right.
But you have to be willing to go through the things and work through them, not just sweep them under the rug. And maybe that's a point that we should have talked about. It's our communication.
Yeah.
We got to be able to talk about the things.
Yeah.
We got to be able to work through them, especially in this such difficult time, such different time, I'll say. You know, we have to be able to communicate through not just what's happening in life, but what's happening between us. Or we won't be able to move past it. And right now, we can't afford to not move past it, you know?
No. Because every day counts.
Every single day.
Every day counts.
So for those of you who are going through life struggles and you are married, we just want to encourage you guys, let you know that you can do it. Get back to that foundation. And I'll be honest, even if you don't have that foundation of friendship, this is the perfect time to find it.
Absolutely.
Because literally the friendship is what saves you. The friendship is what keeps you going, you know? So find that friendship and go from there.
I agree.
So yeah, here we are. We will keep you guys updated. That's all I got.
That's all I got too.
All right.
But for now,
Peace out.
peace.